that guys were able to function within the scrimmage. No coaches on the field, being able to take signals, being able to communicate, being able to, move around for the most part, and had a few missed assignments here and there, but for the most part, we're able to function. Now, we didn't play as well with our younger guys as we want to, but we did some really good things. You can see the talent got to be more consistent, and that's what we got to build on now. They've kind of gotten that first taste of what a scrimmage is like, so they're doing a really good job in that part. But I mean, our young guys are really coming on with the learning curve. I've been very pleased with their ability to learn and be coached and how we're doing it. So kicking game was did a lot of kicking situations. Seth kicked the ball really well yesterday in the scrimmage. I don't think he had a miss in anything. Maybe before practice, I think he had one, but doing that he didn't. Caden had made PATs and did a solid job. I thought Braden kicked the ball, punted the ball extremely well. Nick, the young punter, did a solid job. So we've got a lot of coverage guys, got a lot of guys worked, and I think we've got more guys that we can put in those situations, more bigger bodies, athletic guys can get down the field and make special teams. The return guys were solid in the game, catching the ball, and just, we weren't live, but where we could get to things. So, a solid first scrimmage, nowhere close to where we need to be, but, got to build more depth, got to get the young guys more consistent, but you saw flashes of why they're here.
How's
Can you tell us about Baylor Cup status?
Baylor will be out for a while. He had a surgery today. He had a plate put on his ankle and tibia on the lower part of his leg, so he'll be out for a little while. He just got rolled up on. That was the only major injury we had in the scrimmage.
When you say a little while, do you anticipate
I'm not a doctor. don't put me on that.
Did the doctors tell you anything?
No. They when he heals. He'll be out for a while. He'll be out for a while.
Describe it as a broken leg. Is that what it is?
He had surgery, whether it's ankle, the bottom of the tibia, right in that area.
What's that loss do, Jimbo?
Well, it gives an opportunity for another guy. We had some other guy. Glenn Beal's playing well. Wiedemeyer's doing a good job. As you saw, Cam Morey's come over, done a good job. Some other guys, we got guys there, but it's still lost. Baylor was playing really good football. He was actually having a really good scrimmage, was doing a really nice job. So we hate to see that, but, he'll get healed up and get back. He's still going to be one heck of a player, and he was having a heck of a camp.
Would there be any sets that maybe a receiver that Baylor would have been in that you could put, say, a Caleb Chapman in or somebody like that? Well,
no, but just different. We got plenty of tight ends. Listen, our young tight ends are really good. Listen, Beal is really talented. Wiedemeyer is really, really talented. It's a good setup for those guys. And Cam Morey had a really good scrimmage. He really did. I think he might have caught 2 touchdowns in the scrimmage, if I'm not mistaken. So, those big bodies doing things. So we got some guys that'll do what we got to do.
You feel like Jalen's really coming along, freshman?
Mm-hmm. And Bill, I like a progress for a tight end. We're not playing the level we want to, totally, but, doing some really nice. He was in a 2-minute drive. We went down with the ones and scored, and he made a couple catches in that 2-minute drive.
You had already switched out Ori from the other side, so what was it you saw in him early on?
Well, I just think he can run, and he's got ball skills. He's athletic, he's long, he can stick his foot in the ground, and he can be a physical guy, and he's a big body up there, and we had some guys over there in that situation, and tight ends, you're playing with one all the time. Sometimes we'll play with 2 in some of the sets we use, so getting a body over there that's athletic, I thought he was just more his personality to be an offensive player.
On Sunday, how important was it for those young guys to have eyes in the stands and at least simulate a little bit?
It was, and more importantly, not coaches behind them telling them everything to do. That was a big thing. But it's just, you got to get in the stadium, you got to compete, you got to be live, you got to get through that, and that's just part of growing up. And there were some nerves, but for the most part, those young guys did a nice job.
Did you guys do any crowd noise simulation last night?
No.
Tell us about Kenyon Green and his progress and all the things that he's
playing
done
really
this
well.
year.
He's playing right guard. He's number 1 at right guard right now. And we moved well. I don't remember a missed assignment yesterday. There might have been one on a twist thing, but picking things up, smart, physical, strong, very natural football player, and very gifted.
It seems like there was a time not that long ago when it was almost rare to see a true freshman playing or at least starting the offensive line.
It still is.
You think so?
Oh, heck, without a doubt. And especially when you play inside. It's actually, when you play at tackle, there's less assignments there are at guard. Because the closer you go to the ball, the multiplicity of things increase, and there's more knowledge that has to be learned. You have to be a greater athlete on the edge, but we got 2 experienced guys there. But the girth and size, he can do both, and he's doing a really nice job.
So if it's rare, how comfortable are you with the prospect of putting a freshman in the offense?
Very.
Okay.
Another freshman you've been out there a lot with the ones is Damani Richardson. What have you seen out of him and Brian Williams?
Like I say, playing really well, can run, accelerate, plays on the ball, smart, makes very few mistakes. These guys, here's what not only their athletic ability, but their ability to learn is why these freshmen are being able to do that, because they can use their ability. This guy makes calls, makes checks, has great ball skills, can tackle in space, can accelerate, can cover. He is a really, really good player.
Is it safe to say he's going to make it difficult to keep him out of the lineup?
Oh, yeah. Right now he's running for 1.
Beyond Cup, how was the overall health of the team after the first scrimmage?
Actually good. Typical bangs and bruises at camp, but we got a couple pulls here and there, but guys will be back. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the only one I think for any long term right now.
Do you like McCollum and Prater still rotating there at center?
Yeah, I think so. I think they did a nice job. McCollum get back in there. I thought Prater had a really good scrimmage. McCollum had a solid scrimmage. So they're doing a really nice job, and I like what they're doing.
What you guys did on Sunday and Monday, how valuable is that from a teaching perspective?
You can't do enough of it. I mean, you just can't. And situations and time on the clock and down and distance and how things change. And, just from getting up, we had a situation today, trying to get to the last plays of a game, and a guy caught a ball, and he got up and he didn't know what to do, and he was trying to get to where he went, so he threw the ball. I mean, not threw it, but just kind of flopped it down and it rolled the other way. We didn't get a playoff because the officials couldn't get the ball. Did it again, he catches it, hands it to the official. We got 4 extra seconds on the clock that we can snap the ball and run the last play. I mean, things like that you don't realize. I'm just trying to get to where I'm going. Don't get the ball. Well, no, you got to catch it and make sure that takes time for them to go get. Look, just so many minute little things that make a difference in winning a game and saving the 1 second like we had at LSU. You can't work them enough and then pray that when you do it, they execute it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to put them in those situations over and over. And how many times you do it, something will happen that's different every time. And it's just a teaching curve, and you got to put them in those situations. Situational football is critical.
What do you see out of the backup quarterbacks, and is there anybody that's kind of
something? I thought Blumert played very solid. I thought James and Zach threw the ball accurately, got the ball down the field. And when I was pleased with those 2 young guys, I thought their game management, getting plays, getting things off. A couple times we'd had a delay game. I didn't call them on those 2 the first time. They might have had maybe 1 or 2 apiece. That's it. Out of a ton of plays, so they were managing the clock, getting calls, getting things run. And for the most part, occasionally I misread, but the most part, calls, checks, run checks, those things, I was really pleased with their progress, and I thought Blumert did a solid job. So it's going to be interesting how this thing comes out.
They're still pretty even in there.
Yeah, they all are. They're all getting very, similar reps, and we're putting them in, and also how they handle situations. But we're getting them as much as we can. That's why splitting this team. 2 guys on each field, so everybody's getting plenty of reps. It's fun to watch them grow.
You're an NBA guy. How clutch was Ori's dad through the years?
But we can be that big shot Robert, huh? I mean, he could hit him now. He could hit him. He was, and you don't get all those rings for nothing when it matters. So you're right, big time.
How pleased have you been with the development and growing some depth there on the defensive front?
Oh, you got to, man. You can't have enough guys that put their hand in the dirt because of the physical pounding they take and the bangs and bruises and keeping guys fresh. And you got a long season. This game and this league is so physical. You can't have enough guys up front. Very pleased with our young D linemen. I mean, in that group. I mean, Jones and Hunter and Leal and all those guys. I was really, really pleased with their progress and how they're developing up front.
You see those second-year defensive linemen, especially those ends, taking that next step?
Yep, they're starting to play better and getting more consistent.
Do you ever get a chance to watch former players in the NFL preseason? I mean,
sometimes if I happen to, and I'm able to, I try to watch all any guys I get my eyes on.
Been able to watch any of the guys this year?
Actually, I haven't. As I say that right now, I haven't. The first games, I haven't. I've seen a couple plays, and I check on I have all the guys check numbers of guys I've coached and stuff, and see how they're doing, or if there's any reports. I'll tell some of our guys to look them up, but I haven't had to this year. No.
Jimbo, do you going back to the whole freshman lineman thing? Do you recall starting?
Did at Auburn twice. A guy named Willie Anderson, a guy named Victor Riley. They all both started as true freshmen. We won the SEC in 2001 with Ben Wilkerson. Starting at center after about the 3rd or 4th game. He started at center on an SEC championship team as a freshman. Huh?
Hemp Hill, Texas.
Hemp Hill, Texas.
Yeah.
Yep. Won the Remington Award. Phenomenal human being.
Anything else?
It says the best prayer I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
When he says prayers, he is unbelievable.
Can you recall it?
No, I mean different
ones, okay.
prayers. I mean he is unbelievable.
So you've never flinched about putting a young
I ain't seeing the age limit in the playbook or in the rule book. I mean, if you're the best players, you play, and if they're capable, is what you don't want to do with young players is put them in situations they can't handle. And I'm sure there's going to be growing pains. There are, and how we call a game, or what we do, or protection we call, or run we call. At times, we see those things. We can protect them with how we call the game and the situations we put them in. But then also, I don't want to put limitations on them. I mean, I don't know what a guy can do. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that puts limitations on them, and we got to find that fine line.
Anything else?
What about Spiller? It seems like he's moved up to depth chart.
I thought he had an outstanding scrimmage. He had some really big plays, caught the ball, ran the ball. And you're asking on that, receivers, the young receivers, all the young freshman receivers did really well, had catches. The tight ends did. Secondary, Brian Williams was the guys back there that caught ball out, some of those linemen, all those linebackers had tackles because they were all getting plenty of reps because they had to be in there. Again, those guys are all really developing. I'm really pleased with their progress, and that young group of guys done a really good job. Spiller had a couple really good series in that scrimmage.
All right. Coach,
Yes,
media
Coach.
Thank you.